First technically real in-game, in-season practice and preparation today for Louisville, although we got started last week. This is a really good opportunity for us to play on a national stage. I think only game going on at that time. So very challenging with an offense that's, can do both. I think in the last 2 years, there's only 4 or 5 teams that average over 200 yards a game on the ground and throwing. They're one of them. So they present a lot of challenge there with a very good quarterback that can make a lot of plays with his arm and feet, and a very veteran offensive line. The other side, they're multiple in what they do, give you protection issues, trying to figure out where everybody is. And so challenging opportunity for us. And still a lot of work to do this week, and we're trying to get our guys back health-wise. So today was a walkthrough versus a normal Monday practice because I thought we looked really tired in our mock game, which is kind of normal after that camp. So hopefully they'll be on the way back for an exciting matchup.
Yeah, you brought up the mock game. I was wondering if you could give us any kind of insights on what you saw there and what stood out.
Well, we won 69-0, so that would be cool if a real game went like that. We gave up 1 first down on defense. So I know that you would assume that's how they all are. It isn't necessarily always that way. We've struggled at times in mock games on one side of the ball before, so that was good to see. And it was pretty easy, so everything seemed good. Played a bunch of players, so really I think it helped the substitutions for special teams, headsets, all that stuff as much as anything.
You kind of talked about it at the start, but just the weird schedule of playing on a Monday. Just what do you have to do to prepare your team, and how did you have to adjust to a regular game week to prepare for this one?
Well, it's been unusual just because the mock game fell on strange days too, because we had to do it at night so we could get used to a night schedule. And, we don't do morning classes, so it would have been too hard to do Monday night, which really would have been when it would have been, which today is actually Tuesday. So you can see how it gets confusing. So we basically played a game that's on Monday that normally are on Saturdays on Sunday. So we're a little bit out of whack that way. And so we just really talk in days of what it is. And so today was the first of 2 Mondays for us from a preparation standpoint, practice-wise. So I think it'll get easier as the week goes.
Lane, what kind of pressure does Malik Cunningham put on the defense?
Well, a lot, because he can throw the ball really well, but then takes off and runs. Very challenging to contain him. So there's a lot of challenges with that. That's why, in a perfect world, you want unathletic quarterbacks to play against. So when you cover people, they can't, bring another dimension. So
you talked a lot last year about the lack of a spring practice and the impact that had. How different was it this year with fundamentals, defense, and that sort of thing? And how important are things like tackling, eyes against a quarterback like Cunningham?
Well, I think we're going to be better on defense. It feels like that. I'm kind of excited to finally get through a real game, to see where we're at really, because you never know. Some years you think you're better on one side than you end up being, or better as a team, or worse as a team. So it'll be exciting to go play a quality opponent with really good players and good coaching schemes to see where we're at.
You talk about feeling like you're going to be better on defense. Is there anything in particular that you've seen that kind of gives you that impression, or is it just you're being optimistic right now?
No, I think that we do, have some young players that, have a spring under their belt now. We have some transfers that either like Otis that barely played or a couple that didn't play at all that would have played a year ago. So I have game experience. So I think we look better physically. Even the same guys look better physically after a whole year in our weight program.
Lane, Louisville had the top 20 pass defense last season. Just how important is it for you guys to get the running game established and kind of loosen them up?
Well, it always is with us. I think there's a little bit of misconception that we just throw the ball. We led the SEC in rushing last year. Now, a lot of this because we ran the ball way more than anyone else did in the SEC per game. So we're always committed to that. And when we don't do it in games, we get out of balance. So we need to do that.
You talked about Louisville being multiple. Are there things you can do to manipulate for the looks that you want to get? How do you manipulate?
Well, the hard thing is, they coach too, so they've had an off season to look at us. And the first game, is always challenging because you're not really sure what they're going to do. It's not like they just have 1 week, to do different things or to copy what other people did a year ago. So we just got to do our stuff really well and figure them out as the game goes.
So like they run a 3-man front, much like Arkansas threw at us last year. I know Matt learned quite a bit from that experience, but are you expecting some of that Monday night?
Yeah, that's what they do, so I would think so. And if they play deep, we got to take what they give us and run the ball and take care of the ball at all times.
Coach, after camp, how do you feel about depth? I know that's always a concern going into the season.
I feel a little bit better than we were at the start. With some young guys playing and some veterans getting better. So, we'll see when it's a real game. Obviously the mock game personnel wasn't real tough on us. So, I'm excited to get to the game, hopefully play really well, but also see our players play against someone else.
You've talked about the battle between Kincaid and Luke Altmaier. Obviously, you guys brought in Tyrell Pickram. I'm just curious what he kind of brings to the table and what you're kind of expecting from him.
Well, we'd like to have depth and competition all the time, so we're always looking. It's kind of turned into the NFL, with transfers and things. So he did a good job and caused people problems at Western, and so. To be able to add him was good, and that competition with the other two guys is still going. Luke's been limited still, so we'll see.
With Jerrion, I know you've coached a lot of different styles of running back over your career. Is there somebody he reminds you of? I know we asked you this a bunch with Elijah last year, but in the way you plan to use Jerrion, are there past guys that come to mind?
Probably Kenyon Drake, from a speed standpoint. I think Kenyon was a little bit bigger, but they would be the most similar as far as being able to do receiver things.
I'm just curious, where do you get these names from, and how do you decide who you're going to be on a given day?
I don't know. Sylvester just was a name that popped in my head today.
What are your expectations for yourself for this year?
Higher than what everybody else expect. The unbelievable. A whole lot of adjectives.
So there's been a lot of talk about flanking you out, putting you in motion, getting you out, getting passing. You feel like going through the camp, you got a little more experience at doing that?
Through camp, we did that a lot with me and Henry, and we excelled at it, and we look forward to being in the game plan.
Long off season for you, and with no baseball, probably the longest you've ever gone without competing. Just how excited are you to get back out there and actually play a sport?
Real excited, man. I mean, I've set out in the spring one time, and that was my ninth grade, going into my ninth grade, my freshman year of high school. And I was miserable then, and I was miserable now. So to get back on the field and, play a game with fans in the stadium is going to be unreal, and it's going to be a good show that I'm going to put on.
Jerrion, you look faster this camp than you have since you arrived at Ole Miss. Do you feel that way, and what do you contribute to?
Everybody been saying that. I don't know why. I do feel faster. I wouldn't say I do feel faster, but I feel like I'm moving more efficiently. It's taking me less steps to get places, and that's the name of the game, chew up grass.
When you land on some of these preseason all SEC teams as the all-purpose back, do you feel like you are overlooked as a traditional running back?
I do. But then again, there's many parts of my game that the world hasn't seen. So only thing I can do is change their opinion at the end of the year and leave no doubt in doing it.
We talked to Henry the other day, and he kind of identified you as the speed guy, Snoop as the power guy, him as the shifty guy. Where does Cantrell fit in the group of four?
All right, so take all three of what you just said and put it into one guy, and that's Cantrell. Say it again. Very valuable. See a guy that can hit you. He got home run speed, but he also got red zone power. So he got the best of both worlds and size to go along with it.
Hey, Jerrion, you're Sylvester today, but who can we expect to see on Monday?
Jerrion Ealy.
Otis, Lane was just saying he expects the defense to be better this year. Just from your vantage point, what is better about this defense that maybe you guys didn't have last year?
The chemistry. I mean, the whole 9 yards all around. The chemistry, the way guys understanding the defense, the concepts, just the whole 9 yards. Guys playing together, playing fast. Gonna be really excited.
Everyone who's come out here and talked about the defense has seemed really excited about what you guys have. Are you guys excited to kind of get out there and show people what you guys are, that you're better than what you showed last year?
Very, very, very excited.
Hey, Otis, Coach Kiffin has talked a lot about the impact last year of not having spring. Do you feel like you guys are better fundamentally, eyes in the right place, tackling those things because you've had spring and now this camp?
No doubt about it. Coach been coaching a long time, so he know the in and out of the game and like how things should go. But I see what he was saying, like us missing the spring and them coaches just not getting here, and new players coming in. We miss like understanding, like having the whole year understanding the scheme of things and like tackling little things. 'Cause like every coach wants things done different, and every coach like teaches things different in their way. And just having a whole year on the Coach Durkin and Coach Presser belt, I think the defense we real comfortable. We just ready to go out there and execute at a high level.
How important are those fundamentals when you're playing a player like Malik Cunningham and the pressure he puts on defenses?
In the big time games, the fundamentals is everything. The little things, me personally, I just believe in the big time game, your focus just got to be there, and the little things gonna take care of the big thing.
How exciting is the homecoming aspect of this for you to get to go back to Georgia? And did you ever play in the Dome or Mercedes-Benz or in your high school?
Yeah, I played in the Dome twice, my freshman year and sophomore year. Yeah, I'm excited to go back. I'm excited.
What have you seen from Cunningham on film? What kind of challenges does he present to you guys as defenders? I know he's mobile and he can do a lot of things with his feet as well.
Oh, he very like very fast player. He a playmaker. Very good player. Very good player. We just ready. We just ready to go out there and compete at a high level. He's a very good player.
So it's run a lot of misdirection trying to get this guy out in space. So what's the key? I mean, obviously you don't want to bite on every one of those misdirection plays. Talk about the keys to not doing those negative things.
Can you repeat that again?
So Louisville runs a lot of misdirection. Line blocks one way, bootleg back
Right.
the other way. So
Yeah.
obviously they're trying to get you guys eyes in the wrong
Eyes
place.
in the wrong place. Right. Yeah. So coach them doing a great job. Our scout team been doing a great job of giving us the look that Louisville gonna give us. So in the game we'll be prepared. They probably do a couple things here and there that we haven't seen, but every like the stuff the coaches put together like is nothing we never seen like that we seen that we could practice. So like guys, you got to go out there and execute at a high level.
Yeah, just looking at the defensive depth chart, there's a lot of ors on there. Does that sort of speak to
A lot of what?
of ors, like so and so or so and so, in terms of, you know, it could be this guy or this guy?
Mhm.
Does that just sort of speak to the sort of depth that this group has, that you can't have so many guys that are ready to play?
Yeah, we need depth. Coach done be preaching that we need depth. Last year a lot of guys played a lot of plays they didn't supposed to play, like over the snap count. So that's good. I mean, guys competing, guys getting better. Yeah, iron sharpening iron. So it is good.
Going off of that, is there a specific number of plays you're expecting to play or that you want to play in a game, or do you just kind of plan to play when they play it?
I just trust in the coaching staff. They take care of all that. I just go out there and do my job, and just be with the guys. I trust in the coaches that take care of that aspect for me.